Everyone, this is our iteration release video for the conversion group for digital experience for August 10th. I'm going to hand it over to Tina and kind of chat about what we worked on this iteration.
Sure, thanks. I'll share my screen and just show issues because we're doing design thinking and less design doing this quarter. So this iteration, Carrie and I just started planning what we're going to do, what we want to discover, what we want to learn for the next couple of iterations. So we created this issue where we are starting to outline the work that we want to do at least this month. So we set up stakeholder interviews. We're still in the process of setting those up with the actual folks, but we created an interview script with questions, sourced a list of participants that are enterprise focused. We're also setting up shadow calls. That's in progress. And, in working through this and looking at the timeline for this more qualitative research with actual people whose schedules are kind of hard to kind of align with ours, we decided to also dive into quantitative research and kind of look at what the existing journey is for enterprise visitors, what that traffic segment looks like, and start to look for friction points now, and what we learn from the qualitative research, which could take a little bit longer, we'll add as a layer on top of our learnings to make recommendations. So right now, that is the plan. I imagine this is going to shift a lot as we learn things. So that's these kind of things here. I guess this is a better section to look at it. So we planned our stakeholder interviews, planned our sales shadow calls, even though those aren't actually in the calendar yet. We've already had our quantum metrics, UX focus enablement session where they kind of walked us through how we can use quantum metrics for our Q3 goals. We've got a session plan with Nathan later today to learn about Sixth Sense. And I just learned that it's actually a numerical 6 and not spelled out. I'll fix that. And we're going to have a meeting with Dennis next week to learn what we can, how we can use Google Analytics for our quantitative research. And that's it for me. I'll hand it over to Nathan.
Thanks, Tina. Voice. Yeah, so I was off pretty much last week. So I've been up to, let me share my screen. I know you've been hearing about this a lot. I'll share my whole screen. Yeah, about the icon stuff. So finally have made good progress and can actually see results. So I've created a new project called Marketing SVGs. And inside here is a bunch of scripts and everything. And so what happens is we go through all the icons that we have and the ones that are in product. And then we generate like a file with all the icons that can be imported individually into whatever projects, was navigation or buyer experience. And then through that, when we actually go to load the icons, we only load the one that are necessary. And so I looked at it and the numbers, I don't know where I put the images. I sent them to Justin, I'll have to find them. But it doesn't even show up anymore on like the sitemap where it shows the load times for all the assets. So I'm really excited to get that in. But the only change is it's going to change how we import icons into buyer experience and nav. So there's going to be a little bit of a change, but it's also set up so that for the CMS down the road, if we're configuring a web page and you want an icon, we can create a drop down and then you just select what name of icon you want, and then that'll actually get brought into the page. So it's a little future proof. And then I've been working on live previewing in Contentful. And so we just had a meeting with Contentful and I'm going to have to shift the way I did it. But I'm running into just an issue right here where I think the location that our preview is, so we're hosting it on GitLab pages. And even though I set it to public, it seems like it can't connect to our GitLab page for some reason, or else you'll be able to see the live preview here. So you can open it in new tabs and you can make changes in GitLab and it'll update, or sorry, in Contentful, it'll update these on the fly. So when you're making content changes, you can see it. But I really want that side by side working so that if you come here and make changes, you can see the preview on the right-hand side. So it'd be really good for the blog team, for anyone editing content, but I might have to talk to somebody on the security end to see why we're not able to access it. But that was it for me for this iteration. I'll hand it off to Mark.
Yep. So for this iteration, I worked on updating content for our DevSecOps World Tour City pages for Irvine, Mountain View, and London. I also worked on the homepage redesign, some small updates, some GA attributes, and some accessibility fixes. I also worked on our onboarding issue for our CMS, and I worked on setting up the A/B test for our homepage redesign. I can actually share the screen to show you guys that. Let me see when you can see my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. So this is like the control version where with all our slides. And I created the experiment version, which is less content. So the idea is to track the free trial button here. So that's already set up and on testing. And I think that's it for my iteration. I'm just gonna hand it over to Miracle.
Good morning, everybody. This iteration, I refactored our calculator ROI page. I pulled all of the text from that component into a YAML file so that we can go ahead and work on localizing that page. I also worked on our CI variables and some of our artifact scripts for our blog repo. And then the rest of the iteration, I spent reorganizing our GDK onboarding information, and then also doing an investigation into GLEX testing so that I can test our free trial page or do our first A/B test on the free trial page redesign, hopefully next iteration. And I also did an investigation into implementing some AI solutions into our BE repo. And that was it for me. I'll pass it to Justin.
Thank you, everyone.